way, welcome YouTube. This is the live patch May 15th, the day before my birthday, for the most recent Heroes of the Storm balance patch. A lot of big changes happened here. Very exciting time. I'm going to go over the balance patch. I'm not really going to touch on the bug fixes too much anymore. I think they're not as exciting unless there's like certain things. There is actually one I will touch on here. They fixed the Medivh bug. So taking note of your birthday. Exactly. All right. But anyway, I do appreciate you guys joining me today. Make sure that you guys do check out my Twitch stream. I'm going to post a link to that down below in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff on here. But let's go ahead and start out the most recent, or some of the changes. Anduin being replaced by Malfurion, Anduin replacing Malfurion in try mode. I mean, that is what it is. I don't really know why they would do that. Maybe so someone has a poll. Numerous game strings have been updated to reflect current gameplay. That's actually kind of cool. Updated home screen and startup music. So that's going to be this right here, Nexomania. Give us the Nexomania event. I've been talking about that I want the event back. They did the splash screen. Coincidence? And then obviously there's going to be some new bundles as well. So that is a very exciting thing. I don't know why I flipped back to that. Just to flash that I'm plat 5. But yeah, I very excited about that. And then, because it's easier to switch Anduin. I guess that's fair. That's fair. And then this is a new one that they added from the PTR. In order to improve matchmaking queues, we'll be consolidating Singapore and Brazil regions into North America. Honestly, I know a lot of these other smaller regions have had issues with queues, and a lot of them play on North America anyway, so this is probably for the best. I don't know how ping will be for those, but I think this will be very good for the queues in general. But yeah, so I'm very excited about that. This is the change that I am most excited for this patch. The Storm League changes. So I have been saying I want solo queue Storm League for years. This is a good alternative for the time being. It does not affect me and likely never will, but it is a change I have been asking for. This one, not particularly. Rank decay will only apply to players in Master and Grandmaster, so you won't decay in Diamond anymore. I understand the thought behind it. Essentially, people who are playing in Diamond have this weird middle ground where if they don't play for a bit, they decay to Diamond 5, and then if they play that account, then it'll lock them in for the new season, whereas if they don't play it, they can just place right back. So they just play on their Smurfs. I get this change. It just makes it so it's all uniform. So I don't necessarily disagree with this. After I thought about it a little bit, I understand why they do this. It is a net positive after all. It keeps people where they belong. If you're a Diamond 1 and you don't play for a month and you decay to Diamond 5, you're not suddenly Diamond 5. You're still a Diamond 1 player. So it makes sense to keep them there. This is a big one though. Reduce the maximum party size for Master and Grandmaster players to 2. No more will Master players be able to 5-stack their way to GM number 1. And this is a new one as well. They can only party with players that are 5,000 rank points away from them. This is huge too, because that means they cannot group with Diamond 5 Smurfs. Sorry, my brain is not working. I did a drinking stream today. So Master and Grandmasters will no longer be able to group with Diamond 5 Smurfs. That means if you get GM number 1, that means you deserve to be GM number 1. For the most part. But anyway, these are massive changes to Storm League, and it should get some more high-ranking people off their Smurfs and into the rank that they belong, which is what we want. The lower ranks are completely fine, so let's do what we can. I've talked to lots of people who don't play at the upper ranks just because of various issues, other issues beyond this, but these are ones that have been brought up. So these are going to be the balance changes. Anna added functionality to her W. If Bionic Grenade does not hit any enemies, the cooldown is reduced by 3 seconds. If Bionic Grenade only hits Anna, its cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds. So just a little bit of a buff for her W. Anna's in a weird spot. The grenade is actually pretty OP with the 100% anti-heal. I've heard a lot of people complain about it over the years, but Anna herself is not. So it's a nice little change. We'll see what that can do with her. And then Vampiric Rounds now give 15% passive healing bonus. Shriek does, Shrike, however you say it. And Deadeye added functionality. Eye of Horus can now be toggled on and off, which is great. The rounds are regained once every 10 seconds. That's actually pretty cool. And cooldown is now 6 seconds. Bonus acquired from Deadeye now lasts for 4 seconds. So that's going to be pretty cool. Very excited about those changes. So they added Ariel to it. Now they buffed Ariel to a point where she's like first ban, and they've been slowly bringing her back down. So I'm very happy about this one. Reduce the amount of energy stored from 40% to 35. I think it was 50 when they first made it, to not off of damage to non-heroes. Reduce the amount of energy stored from 80 to 70% damage off heroes. So they're just bringing her back down a little bit. She was still a little bit strong, so we'll see if this puts her down where she's supposed to be. Asmodan. They buffed Trample. Added functionality. Now reduces heroic cooldown 25% if Trample hits a hero. I honestly don't think that this is going to make too much of a difference. Majority of what you do with Asmo is either going to be team fighting, and Trample is mainly used as an escape, not a damage. However, there is a build with Asmo that does use Trample offensively, and that is Auto Attack. That is Wrath Asmodan. Wrath Asmodan has not seen a whole lot of play over the last few years, but this talent could bring it back. I did see one in my game today. It might have been before the patch dropped, so I don't know if that's actually accurate. But it could see some value. I would love for Asmo to be brought in. I mean, Asmo is good in the lower ranks, but obviously falls off at the higher ranks. So this is a nice little change to him. I mean, never go wrong. Here's the big one right here. ETC gets a buff, and this is probably maybe the most substantial. We'll see. Face Melt, cooldown reduced from 12 to 10 seconds. Rockstar trait armor increased from 20 to 25, and the heroic reduced from 60 to 50. So basic armor abilities go up by 5. The heroic obviously goes down, but this is going to be a overall buff to ETC with his basic abilities. Crowd Surfer cooldown reduced from 7 to 6 seconds. Hammer On added functionality. Basic attacks deal 12% more damage. Increase to 36 while Guitar Solo is active. So this is going to be your solo lane stage dive ETC talent most likely. Encore cooldown reduced from 5 to 4%. I mean, makes sense. Encore is pretty broken. New talent, Power of the Horde. Activate to grant nearby allied heroes a shield that absorbs damage equal to 30% of their maximum health for 5 seconds. Increased by 2% for each other allied hero in the area. New talent replaces Storm Shield. So this is, I guess, Blizzard's attempt at sprucing up Storm Shield a little bit. So this could be an interesting one. I'm interested to see how it works. I mean, you're competing with Death Mosh. You're competing with the Stage Dive upgrade. You're competing with, what is it called? Crowd Surfer or whatever the Mosh upgrade is. Like, there's a lot of big competition for ETC's level 20s. But yeah, so no one really takes, like you said, no one takes shield on ETC. This is potentially going to make it more viable. It's still going to have some stiff competitions, but it is an interesting change. And then there's another new level 20, Ride the Lightning. Activate to teleport. This is replacing Bolt of the Storm. Activate to teleport to a nearby location. Deal 48 damage to nearby enemy heroes. The cooldown is reduced by 10 seconds for each enemy hero hit up to 50 seconds. So this is, I'm assuming, just replacing Bolt of the Storm. So similar to Storm Shield, it's just making it a little bit more flavored. But I mean, if you're going to pick Bolt, you're going to pick Bolt. Like, this isn't gonna. It's a small buff. Does this make him viable? We'll have to see. This right here is what will potentially make ETC viable. The basic ability armor changes. So we'll have to see. Genji Pathfinder added functionality. Heroic abilities now heal Genji for 10% of the damage dealt. The enemy heroes increased by up to 30% on how low Genji's health is. So it's like a percent healing, I guess. I've heard that this isn't really going to be that impactful. So probably not a massive change here. X-Strike cooldown increased from 60 to 75 seconds. Damage increased from 275 to 290. So cooldown increase, damage increase, slash damage increase from 135 to 145. So basically he got 15-second longer cooldown, slightly more damage. Shingen, this is actually huge. Now does 40% less damage to structures. I know he was a sieging machine with this level 13, so that makes sense. Living Weapon cooldown reduction increased from 10 seconds to 12.5. So that's going to be Genji there. Imperious Molten Armor E now hits 2 extra targets if no heroes are in range, which will be interesting as well. We'll have to see. Imperious, I mean, I feel like Imperious it was in a good spot, but they wanted to spruce him up a little bit. Reworked his level 1, Impaling Light. Cooldown is now reduced by 2 seconds. Impaling Light does 180% more damage to heroes, reduced by 20% for each additional hero hit. So if he hits one hero, it does a buttload of damage, which is pretty good. Impaling Light mana cost is reduced from 40 to 30. When a Valorous branded target stun ends, his cooldown is reduced by 1 second for each brand on the target. That's not too bad. Pathfinder is going to be a good pick. We'll have to see. Not that Genji needed a buff, but we'll see. Blaze of Glory, delay reduced from 2 seconds to 1.75. Molten Armor no longer grants Holy Fervor, so that one I understand. That just makes it so you have to use the talent for the AoE. Level 20, added functionality for Heavenly Host. All shield created by Angelic Ornament no longer expire. Sword fired by Heavenly Host shields can now target non-heroes, but heroes are prioritized. So that's good. New talent, Molten Wrath. Molten Armor will now hit 2 extra targets even if enemy heroes are in range. So that's going to play off of this one. So that's going to be pretty cool. I wonder if that means it hits two enemy heroes. So that could be really good. Lunara, Splintered Spear. I know this one was big. Splintered Spear added functionality now grants 3 stacks of Splintered Spear. A stack is consumed when extra target is attacked. Can have a maximum of 3 stacks. All stacks are consumed in a single attack. Endless Spores now also refund 50 mana. And level 20 for the Wildlands. New talent, Thornwood Vines now shoots 4 additional vines in an arc. I've seen clips of this. It looks really sweet. I want this talent to be good. I love Thornwood Vines, and I want to see this talent be good. But yeah, we'll have to see. What is it, level 7? Splintered Spear gets 3 stacks. We'll have to see. I think it would be, if it's 2 extra targets, it would be 3, correct? I believe that would be the case. Forest Wrath can now be selected with either heroic. Alright, that's good. Yeah. Well, so Lunara is someone who could be viable. People were talking about Malthel. This is my first time reading it. Malthel W range is increased from 6 to 7, so he has more range. Black Harvest quest goal reduced from 180 seconds to 150. That's actually huge. Tormented Souls no longer resets the cooldown of Wrath when Tormented Souls ends. Now reduces the cooldown of Wrath to 2 seconds and removes its mana cost. So instead of getting it at the end, it just, during the duration, you have 2-second cooldown on your W, which is actually pretty cool. That could make Tormented Souls more viable. In Reaper of Souls, while 2 or more enemy heroes are in Tormented Souls radius, its duration does not decay. That is busted. So you can, if you're stuck in some heroes, you do not, Tormented Souls just keeps going. That is OP. I feel like this could be a problem. You go with like Nano Boost or something, this could be a problem right here. That is insane. So think of like Bunny Hop upgrade and stuff like that. Like, but with Tormented Souls, that is insane. That could be really good. Yeah, the Lunara changes are going to be nice. I feel like Lunara, Malthel, I mean, they're targeting heroes, and I'll touch on that at the end of the video too. They're targeting heroes that aren't getting a lot of play. Just kind of sprucing them up. And last but not least, Zagara, Corrosive Saliva, percent damage 1.75 to 1.5. I hate it, but I get it. As a Zagara player myself, I understand how OP Corrosive is. We're not really going to touch on the bug fixes except for one, fixed an issue, Sunmaton. Here, there's one bug fix I'm actually going to mention, and this is the Medivh one that was recently discovered that allowed Medivh to cast abilities while in Raven form. Very happy that they fixed that. That was recently discovered, so they jumped on that. Blizzard being right on the ball with getting that. So anyway, there's a bunch of other bug fixes. I will be linking this down below in the description. But yeah, I'm not really going to touch on all the bug fixes. But my overall thoughts on the new balance patch, I love it, of course. The big thing about this patch is the Storm League changes. This is massive for Storm League. You know, the ability to not have to worry about people cheesing their way to rank 1. They have not touched Alarak, no. Not yet, at least. Corrosive Saliva did need a nerf, but we'll see if maybe she gets a buff. I feel like Zagara's not terrible. I have a 70% win rate with her. I don't know. But yeah, so this is an excellent, excellent change for Storm League. I would love to see this bleed over into all the ranks. So if anyone's listening, I mean, I would love to see this. I would have to restructure my viewer days, but I think this would be best for Storm League in general. But for Master and Grandmaster, 100% love to see it. But as far as the hero changes, I've said this for a while. Blizzard has been gone from a large amount of small changes to a small amount of large changes. So they got some changes on Lunara. We got some big changes on ETC. We got some changes on Genji. We got some big changes on Imperius. We got some big changes on Malthil. Now, will all of these characters get the Ariel treatment and be OP? Probably not. Some of these changes might not matter. But the fact is that they're doing some big number swings and some, not even just number swings, they're doing some big functionality changes. And that is going to make a lot of these characters feel more fresh. And at the end of the day, it might not change anything, but at the end of the day, it might. So I just said that twice. But I overall like this. I'm very excited to see how everything shakes out with this new patch. But like I said, make sure that you guys do check out my Twitch stream. I will post a link to that down below in the description. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe on this video. But again, I do appreciate you guys checking this video out. Make sure that you guys do check out my other ones. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good night, everybody. I stare at the camera for a little bit now.